news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. There's your closing bell for this Wednesday afternoon, midweek on Wall Street, where stocks rebounded, the S&P 500 rising more than 1% after President Trump delayed tariffs on Mexico and Canada's automakers for about a month. Much more about that just ahead, but first, let's look at those closing numbers. We bring them to you every day here at Bloomberg. The S&P 500 up 64 points. That's more than 1%. NASDAQ up 268 points. That's almost 1.5%. The Dow up 485 points, also more than 1%. The 10-year Treasury yield is at 4.27%, and the 2-year yield is at 3.99%. President Trump is granting a one-month exemption on his stiff new tariffs on imports from Mexico and Canada for U.S. automakers. Bloomberg Detroit Bureau Chief David Welch.
I think you could see some underutilized plants. I think General Motors has one in Kansas that doesn't have a lot of vehicles in there right now. You could see them bring some vehicles back here.
But Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's office says he is not open to lifting Canada's full package of retaliatory tariffs if Donald Trump leaves any tariffs on Canada in place. The president posted on social media that he had a phone conversation with Trudeau, which he described as ending in a, quote, somewhat friendly manner. The president says he told Trudeau that the tariffs were Canada's fault because of weak border policies. Those tariffs have also rattled global markets. Former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers tells Balance of Power the Trump administration's moves may be weakening the dollar's and the U.S. global position.
There are plenty of real problems that need to be addressed, and that the president in his campaign identified some important directions in which our country and its economy could be made better. But God, the way we're going about it is something that seems very scary to me.
Another former Treasury Secretary, Steve Mnuchin, says he's trying to help the Trump administration from the outside. He says extending the 2017 tax cuts is a priority for the White House.
You know, that was a signature part of his first term, and I think that's got to be the priority to continue. Now, on top of that, I know he wants to do additional tax cuts, and that'll be a little bit more challenging with the pay-fors.
Former Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin spoke to Carlyle Group co-founder David Rubenstein at Bloomberg Invest in New York. The Fed Beige Book is out. Overall economic activity rose slightly since mid-January. Consumer spending was lower on balance, with reports of solid demand for essential goods mixed with increased price sensitivity for discretionary items. Unusual weather conditions in some areas over recent weeks weakened demand for leisure and hospitality services. Vehicle sales were modestly lower on balance. The Supreme Court dealt a blow to President Trump's foreign aid freeze. The sharply divided court, by a vote of 5-4, reinstated a lower court order requiring the quick disbursement of up to $2 billion owed to contractors for USAID. We just got word a federal judge has now blocked the Trump administration from capping some National Institutes of Health research funding as well. The Trump administration has reportedly stopped using military aircraft to fly migrants who entered the U.S. illegally to their home countries or back to Guantanamo Bay. The Wall Street Journal reports there have been about 30 migrant flights using C-17 aircraft and about a dozen on C-130s, but the last such flight was March 1st because they're so expensive. 3 deportation flights to India reportedly cost $3 million each. The House Oversight Committee looking into so-called sanctuary cities, jurisdictions that limit information sharing with federal immigration authorities and offers protections to migrants. Committee Chairman James Comer accused mayors from New York, Chicago, Denver, and Boston of refusing to turn over migrants for deportation.
Sanctuary cities release illegal aliens back onto the streets where they often go on to commit more crime. They just stand in the way of President Trump's mission to protect the American people, and Congress must follow, not by allowing a single penny of federal funding to go to cities and states that prioritize criminal aliens over the American people.
Now, the mayors testified before the committee that while they do have to deal with busloads of thousands of migrants, violent crime rates in their cities have actually gone down. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris, and this is Bloomberg.